Now today we will speak on the left atrium. Left atrium. Now left atrium, it is a cubical chamber, whereas it is size wise it is much more smaller, but the wall of left atrium is 3 times, or rather 3 mm thick, while the wall of right atrium is 1 mm thick. So which is the now, so this is what is considered to be as the left atrium. Now left atrium, it is present right behind the right atrium. Now this left atrium is keeping in front and right the right atrium, and this left atrium is directing backwards and towards left. This left atrium is an oxygen collecting chamber of a heart. Now this left atrium, it is separating from the right atrium by means of the interatrial septum. This left atrium is having relations such as anterior limb, anteriorly it is related to the aorta. So if this is the left atrium, now anterior limb, so this is anterior limb, this is posterior limb, then you will be having, that is what is said to be as on either sides. This will be the what, right? I mean to say diagrammatically this becomes as a left lateral limb, and this becomes as a what, right, a lateral limb. So in front it is related to entirely the what, that of the, you can say, aorta, and the what, that of the pulmonary trunk, that which will be completely invaginated or enveloped by means of the what, that of the, you can say, visceral part of serous pericardium of the water, that of the, in general, the pericardium, that is what is said to be as the first tube or arterial tube of the visceral part of the water, that of the serous pericardium in particular, and in general the pericardium itself. So this will be the thing that is in front. It is completely concealed. Now, what you will be going to have behind? Behind means this. Behind to the left atrium. it is related to the water that of the, where you can say, oblique sinus of pericardium, the one which will be present in between the two pulmonary veins, and above it is related to the water that of the extension of venous tube of the pericardium, and even on above, right behind, then below, right behind, it is related to that of the, where you can say, superior vena cava and the what inferior vena cava respectively. Now this is called as the what oblique sinus. This oblique sinus is of the water that of the visceral part of that of the serous pericardium in particular and in pericardium in general. This is also called as cul-de-sac. Now this where you can say, apart from that, it is related to the water that of the thoracic vertebrae, fifth, to the water thoracic vertebrae, eighth, and their intervening or respective intervertebral disc in a what bending position, or the posture. Then thoracic vertebrae sixth, to the water that of the thoracic vertebrae ninth, intervening or in between these sixth and the water ninth thoracic vertebrae, intervertebral discs. Then you will be having a what is said to be as the what esophagus. Then you have got the esophageal arteries, and the what that of the esophageal veins. So this is the esophageal artery. Then you have got the esophageal veins, esophageal group of, you can say, lymph vessels and the lymph nodes. Then you have got sympathetic and the what that of the parasympathetic and the what parasympathetic nerve filaments to that of the esophagus. So these things will be there. Apart from that, the thoracic duct which will be there. So this will be the what behind relation to that of the, where you can say, left atrium, but specifically you will be having what oblique sinus or cul-de-sac of the visceral part of the water that of the, where you can say, visceral part of the water that of the serous pericardium in particular and in general. The pericardium itself, this is the oblique sinus. Then laterally on either side, so laterally here and here, so you have got right laterally and left laterally. You have got the what here, the what two pulmonary veins on each side, two pulmonary veins. Related to these two pulmonary veins are coming out from the water that of the roots of the respective lungs. So you will be having on either side, laterally, right laterally and left laterally, two pulmonary veins. Apart from that, it is also related to the water, respective roots of the water that of the lungs, and the water that of the pleura, that which gives rise to the what, that is the parietal and the visual pleura on each side, parietal and visual pleura, which gives the origination, and then it is also related to the what, the pulmonary arteries, then the you can say pleura, that which covers the what, that of the you can say pulmonary artery and the what, pulmonary veins, they are called the eparites. Then you have got the principal bronchus of right, principal bronchus of right and principal bronchus of left. Then the bronchial arteries of the respective sides, bronchial veins of the respective sides, then bronchial group of lymph vessels of left, bronchial group of lymph vessels of right, then sympathetic and the parasympathetic nerve filament, sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve filaments for left, and sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve filaments for right, of pulmonary variety, and even the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nerve filaments for right principal bronchus, and the what, sympathetic and the parasympathetic nerve filament for left bronchus. So these are the relation of that of the, where you can say things that what you will be going to get for the what, left atrium. Now after having had this, now this left atrium, it is the oxygenation collecting chamber of the heart. Now when there is a atrial diastole and the ventricular contraction, whatever the blood will be there in the what, lung, because of the what, that of the loading, it will be going to pump into the water, that of the, where you can say left atrium, when the entire pulmonary circulation got over. So now this is the thing here, the blood is coming, oxygenated. But these pulmonary veins, they are two on either side, on right and on left. So these thing one must. Then on the water, that of the, you can say left atrium, there is a what, on the ear-like projection. Like manner, there is a ear-like projection on the right. Known as auricle. compared to the what that of the right auricle on the right lateral and little behind and more towards the what front part of the right atrium. So that is called as an auricle. These are the ear-like projections which have been completely left remained after the development of the water that of the heart via through and through the what septum primum and septum secundum from the pericardio-pleural cavity from the cardiogenic origin after the entire turning of the water that of the U-tube got over. So this is a thing that will be there. This is an auricle of the left. But this auricle of the left is a little bit thicker compared to the what auricle of the right. Thick in the sense if you feel it is much more thicker, that right will be the what thinner. But right atrium is bigger, larger than the what left. Left atrium, what you are dealing now, it is smaller. There it is a quadrangular, but here it is a cubical. Left atrium is a cubical shape. Cubical. Or you can take it small cuboidal shape. Now after having had this, now you have to go to the internal of left atrium. Internal of the left atrium exhibits once again two portions such as inflowing and the outflowing. Inflowing orifice of the water that of the left atrium, that is the pulmonary orifice or pulmonary vein orifice. Pulmonary vein orifice. Pulmonary vein orifice. They are two on either side. They doesn't have any walls. Now these two pulmonary veins, they are carrying the oxygenated blood from the pulmonary circulation when entirely it will be got over into the left. These two pulmonary veins are coming via exiting from the water roots of the respective lungs. So in front of this two pulmonary veins on either side, whatever, you will be having a phrenic nerve, and behind this there will be the what? Vagus nerve of left and right. Now these you can say pulmonary veins, they are almost all oval in shape, or they are round. So this is the inflow. Then you have got the outflowing orifice. Outflowing orifice of the water that of the left atrium. It is called as mitral orifice smaller compared to the what right atrioventricular orifice or tricuspid orifice, where your 2-finger pulp can admit or 3-finger pulp can admit. The diameter of this, it is much more smaller than the water diameter of the water that of the tricuspid orifice. It is between 1.5 to 2 centimeter. Now this bicuspid orifice has got the what 2 cusps. One is the anterior cusp or anterior wall, and another is the posterior wall or a cusp. Now this anterior and the posterior cusps, if you cut open, it will be the what anterior cusp, this will be the posterior cusp, and this is the remaining part of the anterior cusp or a wall. So at the time of that of the, you can say, atrial contraction and the ventricular diastole. Now you will be going to have, this is the atrial surface and this is the ventricular surface. Atrial surface at the time of atrial contraction, it is concave. At the same time, ventricular surface is convex. But reverse is true when ventricular contraction and the atrial diastole. So that you should know about the same manner as that in the right tricuspid wall or the cusp. So the atrial surface is smooth, shiny, while the water that of the ventricular surface, which is convex, at the time of that of the, you can say, atrial contraction and ventricular diastole, it is little bit rough, but it is shiny, and it will be going to give rise to a what? Some whitish thread-like, non-elastic fibers. Now those fibers, they are called as a what? Chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae. Now these chordae tendineae, which are arising from the water that is the ventricular surface of the cusps of the valves of mitral or bicuspid, or what you say as right atrioventricular, they are little bit lesser in number than in the right atrioventricular orifice or tricuspid, because here 2 cusps, there 3 cusps or the valves. Then you can say left atrioventricular orifice or mitral orifice or bicuspid orifice. Bicuspid. Is directing backwards and towards left. Backwards and towards left. So this is the direction of the outflowing orifice. So what is the direction of the water that of the inflowing orifice? That is the pulmonary vein orifice. They are directing straight way backwards, little towards down and left, little bit down and towards left. So this is the direction of those. So now coming to the what histology of, this is the internal is over. Now histology of left atrium Histology of the water, that of the left atrium, it contains the water, almost all plain muscles, those are the atrial muscles, atrial plain muscles, it contains muscles. And at the water left auricle, muscular pectina ties are present, muscular pectina ties are present. So muscular pectina ties are only restricted to the water that of the left auricle in the left atrium. But whereas muscular pectina ties on the water right atrium, their entire internal aspect of the anterior wall of the right atrium, it is there. So that is the water things. Then atrial muscles, nothing. So you will be having other than that. Now coming to the water, that of the, you can say, blood supply. Blood supply for the left atrium, it is by atrial arteries derived from the left coronary artery and the right coronary arteries, but specially it is by the left coronary artery, left coronary. Venous drainage of the water, that of the, where you can say left atrium, it is by the left atrial veins, which altogether they opens into the water, small veins of the water, that of the heart, and then it will be collecting to the water coronary sinus, and then partially it will be going to get open into the water, that of the, via the orifice of the water, that of the coronary sinus, into the water right atrium, and then partially it will be going to get open into the water vena cauda means via or through and through foramina venarum minimum in the right atrium, So this is the venous drainage. Now what is the lymphatic drainage? Lymphatic drainage of the water, that of the, you can say, left atrium, it is by the water, that of the cardiac group of lymph nodes and the lymph vessels, and the pericardial group of lymph nodes and the lymph vessels, they will be going to get open into the water, that of the thoracic duct, and thoracic duct opens into the what union between right internal jugular vein and the brachiocephalic veins, subclavian vein, where it unites, and then continue as a what brachiocephalic vein of the left. So internal jugular vein and the left subclavian vein, internal jugular vein is also left, and there it unites that thoracic duct, and there the mixture of lymph and the water deoxygenated blood from the water neck and the head and the what upper limb takes place, and then there only in the left brachiocephalic vein mixture of lymph and deoxygenated. The same manner on the right side there will be a mixture of internal jugular vein of right and the right subclavian vein unites, there only the right lymphatic duct opens, lymph mixes with the water, that of the deoxygenated blood, and then it goes into the water right brachiocephalic vein. They together forms and get open into the superior vena cava. Superior vena cava pours into the what? Right atrium of the heart. So in the right atrium of heart, deoxygenated blood along with the lymph, which will be bringing from the what? Upper part and as well as the what? Lower part via the thoracic duct. It will be there on the right side, right lymphatic duct. So this is what the entire thing of. So now this is the lymphatic. Lymphatic drainage of left atrium. How that lymph goes into the water? Mixing to the deoxygenated blood, and then that will be there into the right atrium. That is the thing in general. Now coming to the what? Nerve supply. The nerve supply for the what? That of the left atrium. It is by the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Sympathetic is the what? That of the, you can say, bodily segmented part. That will be there in the bending position and in the recommended position. Bending position, it will be the 5 to the what? 8th. That is what the recommend position, and in the erect position 6 to the what? 9th. Thoracic spinal nerves. Then the parasympathetic is the vagus, right and left vagus. They will be going to join to the what? This bodily segmented part earlier and after the sympathetic ganglion, and giving rise to the what? Fluxes. That is called the cardiac, superficial and deep cardiac fluxes. Along with that, there will be a what? SN node and AV node. So those will be the mixture how that atrial and the what? Ventricular contraction begins, respectively by the SN node and the AV node. Thereby the cardiac cycle or cardiac contractions begins and ends, giving rise to. So this is what, how the thing, it is a total neural. Now histology is already finished. The embryology of the what? That of the, you can say, left atrium. Left atrium is developed from the what? Septum primum, septum secundum. From the what? Pericardio-pleural cavity, from the cardiogenic origin, after having had the turn of the water, that of the U-tube. So that is what is said to be as the development of the water left atrium. After this, there will be a what? Applied part. Applied part of the water, there will be a, for the left atrium, there may be the water mixture of the water deoxygenated with the oxygenated, provided if and only if there will be interatrial septal defect at the developmental phase, where that interatrial septum is failed to become as a septa, remains as a membrane, and the water that or otherwise incomplete formation of the water, that of the interatrial septum at the level of the septum primum, septum secundum, from the pericardio-pleural cavity, from the cardiogenic origin, which is present in between the two lateral plate of the mesoderm. There the mixing occurs, so that may turn as a what? Blue baby. So this will be the thing here. Then another important thing you have to have, that is what is said to be as a pulmonary veins. I mean to say, there will be a what? So this is what the thing where you have to have, that is the septal defect. Or rather, this septal defect is also included in the phallus tetralogy. So this will be the answer. So with this, left atrium is ended. Thank you.